I'm excited to see, there've been some rumblings about what they're going to do with sports. So this is my number 11, it's my Klay Thompson.
Do you think that Apple gonna quick release the next version, or is it gonna just...
I think it'd be interesting to go back and look at how much time was between the very first iPhone, and then the second one was not called the iPhone 2, it was called the iPhone 3G. We called it the 3G because it was a faster network. And then I think between the 3G, then the next one was the 3GS. It looked the same. And then the 4 came out, and there was like a year or two between these. I have a feeling perhaps next year or 2 years from now, they may have a cheaper version that maybe doesn't have all the same things that we're used to with this. But at the same time, I think that they are not just developing this hardware, I think they're actively creating content. It's interesting because I think that content, that experience is what really will sell this device to people. But how can you have that experience if you don't have this device? When the iPhone first came out, the early commercials just showed the iPhone and how it works, right? How can you do that for something like the Vision? It's hard to fully grasp just how good it is until you see it. Taking, for example, the new iPhones, I can capture video in 3 dimensions. Seeing that in the headset, to me, is like, it's bringing me back in time to a place with people that I care about. It's hard to convey just how special that is until you have this on. And so I think what will drive this will be potentially new versions of this, but I think this will be with us for perhaps a couple years, maybe 2 or 3 years, and what we're going to see is not new hardware, but new experiences and software. I'm excited to see, there've been some rumblings about what they're going to do with sports. And
I love to see that.
And I love basketball. I'm wearing my Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's big in China. People love him. So this is my number 11, it's my Klay Thompson. I would love to be able to watch the highlights of basketball in this 3-dimensional space. It's like having the best ticket. It's like being on the court with them.
And you don't have to pay the travel. You don't have to pay the ticket.
I wonder if we will have to pay for it.
I think people will okay with like a ticket for a lower price because you don't have to go there.
I bet we have to buy a ticket, a digital ticket. And then you and I and all the world will be watching through the same camera live. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be just a subscription.
I was thinking that I wish one day that they can, let's see, we're watching FIFA. And it's gonna be, you have to pay the ticket to go to Europe for that. But for this one, you're gonna be at best spot. You can switch the camera angles in a different spot. You can be on the judge's chair. You can see on the both side. It will be so immersive, and you can just sit on your family couch and just relax.
I think that's right. And I think you'll perhaps be able to go to different seats, right? So on courtside. And maybe for some things, being right next to the court is good. But also I think there's something, if you really want to follow the game, maybe being a little bit higher and seeing the whole court is good. So maybe you'll be able to move to different seats and have this experience. But this type of immersiveness is, in some ways, it's not spatial computing. Now we're in straight entertainment, and now it's effectively VR. But in this case, it's not VR as in a make-believe digital space. It's literally VR in that I'm virtually in this reality. I'm at the game. And when that happens, I think, to me, the technology's there, right? You and I have seen it in this headset.
Yeah, there's a possibility.
It's there. And so I think what's going to be happening over the next few years is they'll really be focusing on content. Whereas right now, the content is hard to find. And I think Apple is actively working with developers and sports leagues and entertainment people. That's what's going to come. And this has to exist for that to work. So I think, and I'm speculating, I used to work there, but I know a little bit about how these things work. I think first they have to have the hardware, but I think they've been working on the content
for long.
And that's what's going to really change people's mind and feel like you have to have this.
What I have the high expectations about this device is the capabilities of hardware.
Oh yeah. So when we talked about this before, what made the first iPhone different from everything that came before it wasn't just the touching and the pinching to zoom, it was that dragging and zooming with your fingers felt fluid. It was perfect. And that was true of the iPhone, the iPad, all the subsequent Macs, and I think that's true of this. It will change, but that initial experience of being able to move this window around, and the video is still playing, right? And then I can look up and bring down this and click on another app, and here's my chat over here, and I can do a FaceTime call. It all happens so fluidly and feels so right. I'm confident that I will use this
more often than any other.
I have so many.
Same here.
I have headsets that are just in a box that I'm never going to use again.
Okay, so that is all my interview with the former Apple UX designer Dave today. Thanks, Dave, for being on my show. Hope you guys found it really interesting. If you have any question for Dave about Apple, please drop them in the comment section below. I will plan more conversations like this in the future, and more cool interviews are coming up. So keep an eye on my channel. Your support keeps me going, and see you in the next episode.